If your videos are not getting clicks, YouTube never even pastes them. It does not matter how good the content is. It does not matter how long you spent editing. If people do not click, your video is dead on arrival. And this is what most creators do not seem to understand. They spend weeks planning content, scripting, filming, editing. Then at the very end, they throw together a title and a thumbnail and hope for the best. But on YouTube, 80% of the game happens before the video even exists. In fact, let me show you something. As you can see here, this is a video from the same creator, same idea, same upload time. Nothing about the video changed except the packaging. He consulted me when he wanted to release this particular video, and I was able to pinpoint the only single problem. Every single thing he's doing is correct. He is literally creating banger videos, but the one thing he is not doing is optimizing the thumbnail for clicks. And honestly, this is not even my opinion either. Here's what Mr. Beast has to say about it.
You know, do you frequently go that far out of your way where to capture the thumbnail?
Yeah, I mean, of course, everyone should. I mean, if people don't click, they don't watch. If people don't click, they don't watch. So you want to give them something to click. Yeah. We sketch out the thumbnails beforehand to kind of see if we like it. Because a lot of people do the inverse. They film the video and then they realize, oh, I don't like the thumbnail. But you're in too deep. You already filmed the videos. But I'd rather have that existential crisis before I film the video. That way I can make changes.
And just for context, Imagazi has a full department just for thumbnails.
Build out a full thumbnail rehash department where we have 3 full-time people just on thumbnails. And that's been like that for 3 years. So like, a lot of this stuff doesn't.
This is just to show you exactly how important thumbnails are. This is how real creators see video packaging, not as an image, but as the first and most important frame of your video. And then here is what Colin and Samir has to say about thumbnails too.
Last episode of Creator Support with Liz Rowe, we workshopped the title, thumbnail, and the first 30 seconds of her video. And that resulted in that video becoming a massive overperformer on her channel.
That's interesting. How are we not using that in the thumbnail?
They are all solving the same problem. And in this video, I am about to literally show you in this 1-hour framework how to optimize your thumbnails for clicks. This is not a design tutorial. This is a strategy and psychology tutorial. And if you're addicted to dopamine, this is probably not the content for you. This is serious. This is breakdown. This is for creators that are already creating content that they are confident in, but they are not getting the clicks they deserve. This video is not on posting schedules, on algorithm hacks, or on make better content advice. This video is about a system for earning clicks consistently for creators already creating high quality content. Alright, so before we get into the video, you're probably wondering, why the fuck should I trust this dude? Well, it's pretty simple. I have worked with channels in every tier, literally from 500k subscribers to 60 subscribers. I have worked with creators in every niche you can imagine, from business niche to the boxing niche to sports niche to investing niche to science niche to literally almost every niche possible. In every niche I have worked in, I was able to get amazing results, even from thumbnail redesigns and title rewriting for already existing videos, in which some are even years old. Like example is one of this video where before I came in, the click-through rate was at 3.4%, and then a single redesign and we were at 8.8% CTR. This is on a 3-month-old video, and that's much of a jump in CTR. So everything I'm going to tell you here, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I have seen, experienced, and analyzed every single data here. So first thing is first, the main thing here is that I'm going to take you through everything, and I promise you at the end of this video, you are never going to see content the same, and I'm going to explain to you why 80% of a YouTube game is the packaging, not the video, not the hook, not the editing, literally the packaging, and why you should treat it as the most important part of your video. So enough blabbing, let's get into actually showing workings. Now, for the first thing I want you to do, I would want you to reframe the game. That is the first thing to be reframe the game. And when I say reframe the game, what I mean is that you must change your mindset. I'm not talking about the classic guru change your mindset, but now I'm talking about actually changing your mindset and realizing that YouTube is not a content platform. It is a decision platform. And this might go against everything you know. But what I'm talking about is that the only decision that initially matters in YouTube before your video is even clicked is that the viewer is going to decide if they want to click or they want to ignore. And what is the only thing that is standing in between you, them, and the click? The title and the thumbnail, the packaging of the video. That is what is going to determine exactly if they click. So at that particular time, before you earn your view, before you earn your retention, the only thing standing in between you and a million views is a million clicks. You have to understand that. So that's why I said the only decision that matters initially is the decision of either clicking or ignoring. And you need to also understand that YouTube does not test videos. Again, this sounds unusual, even backwards, but I'm going to show you what I mean. YouTube does not test videos. It tests thumbnails and title against human behavior. And what do I mean? When I say it does not test videos, well, your title and your thumbnail set the expectation. And that expectation, the payoff is the video. That's one. And then two, even if your thumbnails are not clickbait, your thumbnails have set a standard already. If you use a premium thumbnail, your video has to be premium if you don't want the viewers to click away. So, and this also aligns with clickbait. If your video title says something different and your video is something different, you would hurt your retention and YouTube is going to bury the video even more. So before you are able to see your AVD, there is the CTR. Even though I believe the CTR matters very little, because in the end, the only way I measure the success of a video is the views, because honestly, only the views would pay your bills, only the views would get you the eyes, only the demographic of the views would actually decide if your business on YouTube is going to get clients. So the CTR does not matter when it comes to the normal generic CTR measurement. However, why I said thumbnails and titles, it tests thumbnails and titles against human behavior is very simple, because when your viewer click, they are expecting something. If they don't get that thing, they bounce off. So your thumbnails and titles set the expectation that they want, and you would hurt your retention if your video is not up to quality, if it is clickbait, or if it overall just doesn't feel aligned with the video. And there are two studies, there are two examples that I'm going to give you for this one. As you can see here, these two titles, AI gurus are going insane with their crazy promises. Not good. What AI gurus don't tell you about selling AI. If you click both videos, they have literally the same message, which is that selling AI is more profitable than actually AI automation. Selling AI automation is actually more profitable than using AI automation, and that is why AI gurus sell courses. That is essentially the idea of both videos. However, the packaging is extremely different. AI gurus are going insane with their crazy promises. Not good. You've already delivered everything the video is about, which is that AI gurus are making promises. And then despite to what AI gurus don't tell you about selling AI, what exactly do they not tell me? What exactly are they, what exactly are they hiding? This sparks a question. This does not. In fact, the not good even hurts the title more, because what else do I have to click for? Even though the videos are literally the same, actually the same message. This one got 17k views and this one get 28 views. Why? Because when the viewer does not click, your video gets buried. when the viewer clicks a bit and then they just bounce off in the first 30 seconds, you are alerting the algorithm that this is clickbait, this is not worth watching, and your video gets tanked again. But in this particular place, the thumbnail is what, in this particular place, the CTR is what got this video buried. And the thumbnail here has an even bigger curiosity gap. They've been lied to. What have I been lied to about? Every single person that are interested in learning AI would probably click this video and ignore this video simply because of the packaging, even though they have the same actual message. And even though this one is shorter and more concise and it is literally just passing the same thing, yet this one got more clicks simply because of the title and the thumbnail. And that is why I said YouTube tests titles against human behavior. It tests titles and thumbnails against human behavior. If they click your video and they bounce off, that is a negative human behavior. Your video gets buried. If they don't even click the title and the thumbnail, your video also gets buried. So the packaging is what YouTube tests. The packaging is what determines the retention for the most part. And the packaging is what determines if you even get the click at all. This is why I said YouTube does not test videos. Well, initially does not test videos and only tests the titles and thumbnail against human behavior. And this goes against every single thing you've learned about content. But honestly, that is just the way it is when you dive deep into the game of YouTube. And then the second thing is that you are not competing against videos. You are competing against inaction. You've probably seen it where a video with basic editing got millions of views and a video with crazy editing got around 1K to 2K views. This would show you that you are not competing against editing, you are not competing against retention, you are competing against inaction. The amount of people that clicked compared to the amount of people that did not click, compared to the amount of people that clicked and stayed, compared to the amount of people that click and bounced off in the first few seconds or minutes of the video. So you are not just competing against videos, you are competing against the viewer's behavior on those videos. So stop trying to make your videos the best and start trying to make your thumbnails the most eye-catching one. And the reason I said this is that your viewers most time are scrolling, not searching, because most of your video views would not come from search, especially if you are an educational creator or an entertainment creator that is not, constantly optimizing for SEO. Your viewers are not searching, they are scrolling. And even when they search, they are also scrolling because they are looking for the most. When someone searches for, let's say I search for how to get rich, I'm going to get a ton of videos, and I'm still going to have to decide which one I click because because seriously, I'm not going to watch every single video under my search. I'm just going to watch the most catchy ones to me, the ones that I feel like I'm going to get a lot of value from. This is why I said the viewer is scrolling and not searching. And what do you have to do? It's very simple. Your job is not to inform. Stop trying to put every single thing around your video. Stop trying to put every single idea into the thumbnail or the title. Your job is not to inform. Your job is to interrupt. Your job is to end the click by leveraging the biggest curiosity gap. As I've shown in the previous example, the guy that informed got 20 views. The guy that created a vague title but actually sparks curiosity got the most clicks, even though the entire idea of the video is the same. So your job is not to inform, your job is to interrupt, your job is to get them thinking, interrupting by either using emotions, either using hierarchy, either using color, either using curiosity gap, either making a ridiculous clip. All you need to do is interrupt. You don't need to try to compress every single idea or every single thing your video is about into the title or the thumbnail. Leverage the biggest curiosity gap, leverage the biggest emotional gap, leverage rage bait. Any single thing that would earn you the click, single thing. Remember, I said any single thing that would earn you the click is what you should leverage. More on that in a second. However, I just want you to look at this. This is literally just my home page. And you can see how many videos you are competing against on the viewer's homepage. It's not just your video. No one cares about you. They care about what you can give them. They care about what they stand to gain when they click your video. And the only way to make them understand what they stand to gain is by actually leveraging the title and the thumbnail. So essentially, what you need to do is shift your mindset from making the best video to earning the click by setting an expectation that is fulfilled in the video, not through clickbait, but through human psychology. And I am going to explain that in details once you've gotten this into your brain. And this takes us back to the header, reframe the game. Your competition probably don't know about this. So honestly, this is the best time to start implementing that. Spend more time brainstorming about your video. This is why the biggest creators come up with title, thumbnail, video, not idea, video, title, thumbnail. A lot of you probably design your thumbnails after the video is already done, which is the extremely wrong way to do stuff. What you need to do, I'm going to explain it to you later in the video to optimize for clicks. But you need to get this into your brain before doing that. And once you understand this, then we can move to the next one. And I am truly hoping you do. So let's move on to the next part of the video. But before we move on, I want you to note this. This is not the framework. This is just the framework. What I need you to understand before we dive into the framework is something that takes 1 hour to do. And I am going to be diving into the framework once I explain some of the things I need you to understand before we go into the framework. So I hope this clarifies. So now let's just visit why pros starts with the thumbnails and the title. Why they brainstorm the title and the thumbnails, at least sketch out the thumbnails before the video, or even just fully design the thumbnails before the video and let the thumbnail and the title guide the video. What most of you probably do is once you get the video idea, you decide on the title without a lot of research or without doing any research at all, and then you start creating the video, you start producing the video, and then after the video is done, you decide to do the thumbnail as an afterthought. Then probably, rewrite the title or change the title or just modify the title or just use the title that you used in the beginning. And that can't be more wrong. And I'm going to show you exactly why you should start with your thumbnail and title. I've already shown the video where Mr. Beast starts by designing the thumbnail once he gets the video idea. And I am going to tell you the real reason, because it never stated the real reason. I'm going to tell you the real reason why this happens and why every single pro that I've worked with always starts with the thumbnails first before creating the video. So what I want you to think about is close your eyes and think about your next video. You probably have an idea for the next video and you already have your title, right? Now think about it. If the video is already created and then the thumbnail is now created, you lose a whole lot of ideas, because before a video is created, you should look for the biggest curiosity gap and the biggest hook in that video. This is what brings us to this first part. The thumbnail defines the promise and the title defines the question. I am going to break this down, don't worry. When I say the thumbnail defines the promise, what I mean is that what you stand to gain when you click this video is in the promise, or in other words, the thumbnail is the biggest curiosity hook and the title is just a supporting hook. And there are some times where the title carries heavier weight, but that is in another subset of videos which I'm going to talk about later. But let's do it as a general stuff right now. A thumbnail defines the promise. A thumbnail is the biggest curiosity gap. A thumbnail has to carry the biggest curiosity gap. So you would think about the story you want to create next, and then you look at it and you'll be like, what exactly is the biggest curiosity gap here? Let's say the next video I want to create is about a plane that disappeared in the air and was never heard of again. In your mind, your title is probably the plane that disappeared in 1982 or the plane that vanished in so, probably your title, right? And then it will start creating the video. And then when the video is finished, you probably put an aeroplane and then you put disappeared in 1992, something like that on the thumbnail. This video is not going to get as much clicks as when you get the idea. Now let's revisit this and show you my own thought process on creating the video, and let us think which one would get more clicks. Visualized, I get an idea. A plane disappeared in 1982. It was never found again. A plane took off and it disappeared. First think of the thumbnail before thinking of the title, because the thumbnail is the main hook. It is what, every single person is more drawn to pictures than text, already psychologically established. So your main banner is your thumbnail. Now I'll think, okay, what is the biggest curiosity gap here? The mistake you make is repeating the title, because your title is, as we have derived, your title is the plane that vanished in 1982, and then your thumbnail is the plane. My thumbnail would be something like a portal with just half the plane showing and half the plane disappeared, and then the text on the thumbnail would be 300 people never found again. That already widens the gap. When you are scrolling on your homepage and you see half a plane and half is disappeared into the portal or something, and then you see 300 people disappeared, or 300 people vanished, or 300 people not found again, you think, whoa, what's this? And then you read the title, the plane that vanished in 1982 or whatever. We leverage the biggest curiosity hook, which is the amount of people that disappeared, not actually the plane that disappeared, because the people that disappeared carries a bigger emotional hook than the plane. So I hope you understand why you should start with the video, with the thumbnail, and then the thumbnail would be reflecting in the hook for maximum retention, which is that thumbnail already has 300 people disappeared. Your hook is going to start with something like, in 1982, a plane took off, blah, 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 and 300 people went missing. This is the story of blah, 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 blah. That is exactly how you structure your video for maximum retention and maximum clicks. Once you make someone click and stay for the first 30 seconds to 1 minute, it's sold already. There is a very big chance they are going to make it to the end of this video, which is why you should always, always, always start with your thumbnails. Then use the thumbnails to formulate the title, and then write your hook before actually creating the video itself. I can't stress this enough. And I'm going to show you practical examples. Let's start with the negative. But before that, I want you to listen to this saying. If you don't know what your thumbnail is saying, you don't know what video you are making. That is exactly what I established in the example that I brought forward to you. If you don't know what the thumbnail is saying, you don't know what video you are making, because you don't know the direction in which the video should go unless you finalize the thumbnail already. And now let's start with someone that did this wrong, which was me. I did this wrong a few months ago. When I first started creating content, I wanted to end the click with any means. So I decided to go with this thumbnail. As you have seen the title, if I controlled Mr. Beast channel for 30 days, I deliberately did not change his title so that you will be able to go back to my profile and actually watch this bullshit video. So this video is titled "If I Controlled Mr. Beast channel for 30 days." And as you can see here is the thumbnail. First thoughts, let me know what you think if you see this video. What is your first thought? You probably think a maniac gets control of Mr. Beast video on Mr. Beast channel and manipulates people, tried a couple of extreme things, whatever. No, that's not what I did in the video. What I did in the video was trying to advertise my thumbnail skills by how I'm going to change Mr. Beast thumbnails and stuff like that. So this is a mismatch for what you had in mind when you click this video. This thumbnail would get clicks, and as you can see here, it got clicks, but when I show you the retention, this is the worst retention I've ever seen in my life. As you can see here, 0% of people that click this video made it to the end, simply because of the mismatch. This is to show you that it is not about earning the click. It is about earning the click and making the audience stay. Because CTR will not pay your bills. It is your views and the retention of those people that click that is going to pay you. If you think this is bad, well, here is what I got for the audience. In fact, even though this video is the highest performing video on this channel, it is the only video that lost a subscriber. So I even got backlash for this video. This is just to show you exactly what I mean when I'm saying that a thumbnail sets the expectation, and a thumbnail is the most important part of the video, because even after clicking, it is still part of your video, because the audience still have it in mind, because it is exactly what they click for. Now that that is out of the way, let me show you some examples. As you can see here in this circled video, see the thumbnail, right? Now let's see what happens when you click the video. As you can see, this is the thumbnail. You can see the thumbnail well. Now see what happens in the first frame of the video. Exactly what is in the thumbnail. So the audience already gets what they clicked for. So they are more likely to stay, because they understand that this is not clickbait. And as you can see here, this is the highest performing video on this channel. Let's look at someone you know. Like, there is no way you're on YouTube and you don't know this person. This is Mr. Beast. Now, as you can see here, his latest video at the time of making this video is this: I saved 1,000 animals from dying. What can you see on the thumbnail? Mr. Beast, a lion, and what is on the title? 1,000 animals. Now let's click the video. Once you click the video, see what is here: a lion, Mr. Beast, and 1,000. Exactly what is on the title. That is what is on the thumbnail. So if there is a thumbnail mismatch or a title mismatch, the video is not going to get a lot of retention. Look at the thumbnail, look at the title. Look at the thumbnail, look at the title. 1,000 animals. You see 1 out of 1,000 in the first frame, and then you see Mr. Beast and you see the lion. Exactly how it should be, because your thumbnail should be the creative lead of your video. With these few points of mine, you should already understand how important it is for you to design your thumbnails first. And hopefully you start doing that. Now let's move to the next segment of the video. Now that that is out of the way, let's get into the actual framework itself, and brace yourself. So I kind of have given you a hint on that when I explained using the airplane analogy or the lost airplane analogy. But now let's get into actual details and why you should always follow this framework. Honestly, this framework does not take more than 1 hour at most. And I'm going to show you why you should always follow this framework. Like, I can't stress this enough. Your videos is going to perform far, far better using this framework. First thing you want to do is topic compression. Now, you would think of your script. I'm going to just give you a quick overview, and then we are going to dive into details of each one of them after this. Now, topic compression. And if you understand, after I explain this, just vaguely, if you understand, you can just leave the video right here and just go and do it. However, I would prefer you stay so that you get some alphas that's addicted, that dopamine addicted people are not going to get. So stick around with me and let's dive deep into this part. So first thing you want to do is compress your topic into one particular direction. And I'm going to give you an example when we dive deep into this. And then curiosity angle selection is just how it sounds. You select a curiosity angle, and then a thumbnail visual decision, and the title alignment check. And I'm going to give you exactly how to do this in details when we dive deep into each segment. But now let's just talk about the importance of why you should always, always, always do this. Firstly, it is done in 1 hour. Some of you work on your videos for hours, even days, and this only takes 1 hour. Honestly, it takes 1 hour, and it is even far easier when you have a thumbnail designer that you can brainstorm with, or a thumbnail strategist. I prefer using the word strategist because I, quite frankly, do not just design thumbnails. The crazy amount of strategy that goes into my thumbnails is what gives it the value and what makes it always outperform competitors. Now, let's put that aside. This happens before scripting, and then it removes creative paralysis. You do not think, where should I go from here? It gives you the straight direction in which the script would go, and it would automatically give you what the payoff also is. Like, I don't think you are getting that. Someone, everyone clicks for one or two reasons. They want to get entertained or they want to get educated. One of two reasons. And what would make them want to click? Curiosity. And what would satisfy that curiosity? the curiosity pay off. And once you know exactly the type of curiosity to use, you would know the exact type of payoff to also use to fulfill that curiosity. That way, you only not get good CTR, good AVD, and good views. You get people that want to come back because you satisfied. If I go to a restaurant and the person gives me a top-notch 1% food, like a food that is literally so fucking delicious, there is no way I am not going to come back to that restaurant whenever I'm hungry next time. So if you are able to satisfy this payoff amazingly well and carry it out amazingly well, I promise you, you would not only get more views, you would get returning viewers. Time to lock in and get serious. Here is where we actually dive deep into the 1 hour framework that is going to make you ahead of your competition when it comes to the YouTube game. This is the way that I have always strategized content for my clients to get them maximum click and the best possible results from their thumbnails. First thing you want to do, as I've said before, is topic compression. And what exactly does topic compression means? It simply means every topic must be compressed into one core tension, one particular emotion. You want to highlight one thing that outstands from the script. There's no how complicated your scripts want to be. There is always one thing, that one thing that is so curiosity instilling that it would make anyone want to click it. It's all about just finding that one thing and only leverage that one thing. As I've said before, stop trying to compress every single thing about your video into the title or the thumbnail. Pick one amazing part, one curiosity instilling part, that's all, and compress that into the title. Now, what exactly should you compress, or what are the things you can compress? There are things that will strike emotion in anyone that is interested in that type of topic. Emotions like confusion, surprise, or something that just feels off or unresolved. Now, let's start with the first one. What is confusing? Disclaimer: all these three that are highlighted in the Miro is just examples of the emotions you can take advantage of and use psychology to get the clicks. There are a lot more than this. As I've said before, rage bait is also part, extreme claim is also part, stuff like that. Not just confusion, surprise, and just what feels unresolved. These are just a few that I choose to, show clear examples to you. Now, let's start with the first one. What is confusing? As you can see in this verification video that got 4.5 million views in 2 days, which is crazy, it says there is something faster than light. Simple. It is plain simple. This is a long video that covers a whole lot of things, a massive number of things is what this video covers about light. But which part of this video is the most interesting part? It is the part of the video that strikes a bit of confusion because almost everyone knows that the fastest thing in the world is light. So claiming there is something faster than light is a bold claim that confuses the viewer. And then visualizing that in the thumbnail, that is exactly how this click was gotten. There is no crazy design, no over the top, over complication of the thumbnails. Just three simple elements that are arranged and structured the right way. And 4.5 million people click this in 2 days. Are you starting to get it? Now, let's move to the next example. And the third example is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of you. So stick around until the end of this video to actually get maximum value from here. So second is what is surprising. Now, look at this video from Mark Theory that had 2 million views. It's crazy, but true tips for teens to make their first $1 million. And now it says, it's a how to make money content, right? And then the thumbnail says, if you are 13 plus, buy a Rolex. We've always been opposed to the thought of wasting money when you just start getting money. But he decided to leverage that to get the click. If you are 13 plus, buy a Rolex. Coming from a known guru of money, it is quite surprising that to build wealth, you want to buy a Rolex or you have to buy a Rolex. Are you starting to get that? Now, he did not try to list all the 8 things he wants you to talk about. He just highlighted one, the most surprising one out of it. He did not show all else stuffs. He just chose one idea that strikes the highest amount of emotion, and that is exactly what he used. Are you starting to get it? Now, for the third example that I want to bring, what feels unresolved. Now, I am going to use two channels for this example. One is nature. I sorry if I pronounce that wrongly. Nature, whatever. So, thing is, all of our thumbnails, let's look at the biggest outlier in the shortest amount of time. 6 things you must do before 2026. Now, do this before January. It's kind of like an emotionally triggering word to put together, an emotionally triggering thumbnail. There is no crazy design here, and it got over 500k views. The word do this before January. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say it feels unresolved. You feel like, okay, what am I not doing? What is here that I'm not doing? And a lot of our content are self-development and finance. And then here is another creator at the same point with over 600. As you can see here, she has 205 videos and almost 2 million subscribers. This is irrelevant, but I just want you to like note that. And then this creator has 652 videos and only 113 subscribers. And I don't even need to tell you the problem before you actually know what the problem is. Are you seeing exactly what I'm saying? Now, if you click this video and you click this video, they are not so different. These creators' videos, you would think she's creating slop with these thumbnails, but I promise you, her videos is extremely valuable. And now, and it's just so you know, it's also finance and self-development, the same exact niche, with also minimalist editing, high effort minimalist editing type of content, just as Nisha. And as you can see here, morning hypnosis to magnetize 10k plus clients, wake up in your CEO energy. It is just too long. And the thumbnail is not even correlating to it at all in any way. And our most performing video in a while is 200 views. And for this particular niche, it is extremely, extremely low. The girl power, the finance, exactly, exactly what I mean. And it's because not enough people are clicking our videos. And this is for one reason. It is not optimized for clicks. So are you starting to get it? Are you starting to see exactly what I'm talking about? Now, from this particular point, you know that you need to look for that one particular thing that your audience would click. And honestly, let's be real, it's going to take an insane amount of work to actually get to a level where you would recognize triggers that would make your audience or your potential audience click. And that is exactly where I come in. I have worked across different niches, as you've seen, and gotten amazing results in every single one. I'm talking triple CTR, double CTR, triple views, and sometimes even 100x the views. And this is because I know exactly what your audience wants to click. I know exactly what triggers them. And if you want me to give you a free channel audit and potentially talk about how to make your packaging strategy far better and earn you more clicks, then book a call with me. There will be a link in the bio and as well as the description. So book a call with me and let's talk about it. Now, let's just move on to the next part of the video. Here I talk about the curiosity angle selection. Now you must be thinking, wait, haven't we talked about curiosity angle selection back when we were talking about title compression? Well, I did say you would look for the biggest curiosity angle, but I did not tell you exactly what to look out for. There are three major things. Unlike when it comes to title compression, you can compress your title into any core tension. I used confusion, surprise, and like unresolved ideas or what feels unresolved. However, I did not talk about the exact way to actually select your curiosity angle, and that is what I'm going to talk about. After you've compressed your topic into one core thing, one core message, one major outliner, then you have to look for how to package it into a curiosity angle. Here is where things get divided into three major parts. First is outcome curiosity, second is knowledge gap curiosity, and third is identity curiosity. The best videos on YouTube usually have around two of these Don't get me wrong, you can choose one. There are a lot of successful videos that only chooses one. However, to double your chances of getting that kick, it is best to join two, whether it is outcome and knowledge gap or knowledge gap and identity, whatever you choose to. And I'm going to explain what each of them mean so that you would understand immediately you see it. And I promise you, after this, you would never look at thumbnails as thumbnails again or as pretty pictures that serves as like just anything you can use, right? Now, let's get into it. Firstly, the outcome curiosity. The outcome curiosity is extremely simple. In fact, it's the simplest one of them all. It is something that makes the viewer say, I want that result. And as you can see here, what do you think the viewer would want as a result here? The balance on this TikTok dashboard. How to actually make money on TikTok in 2024. And then he shows you a 34 euro, or is it pound, whatever. He shows you his balance with 34,000 currency, right? Now you want this outcome too, and that is why you click this video. However, the title also indicates something that I would go back to after I explain the second thumbnail. Now, looking at this again, how to never get tired in sports. The thumbnail features this dude tired, drained battery, and then energetic with a full battery. Now, when you see this, you automatically, every single person, every single one of the 900,000 people who click this video wants the outcome, and that is why they click the video. They don't want to get tired anymore. After they compress the topic is when they chose this curiosity angle. You know, they compress the whole topic into never getting tired, and then they frame the curiosity angle as you getting tired versus you not getting tired, and make you want to crave that result. Are you getting exactly what I'm talking about? And now for this one, the core of the topic is how to make money on TikTok, right? And now the title and the thumbnail curiosity angle is the outcome curiosity. And now the knowledge gap curiosity. The knowledge gap curiosity is what makes the viewer say, I don't know this yet, or I want to know this, right? As I have explained in the first example, the core of the topic there is that there is something faster than light, even though the whole video talks about a lot of things about light. Well, the core of the video, what they revolve the video around, is that one thing that is faster than light, right? And then the packaging is framed to make the viewer want to know what that thing is. It does not say that Mukhtar is faster than light, because that would have killed the curiosity angle, even though it is the same core topic compression, right? It does not tell you what that thing is. In fact, you would have no idea unless you click the video. So there is something that the audience wants to know, and that is why they click this video. And same thing as Meet the Author Who Terrified Mankind. You know, this is about a philosopher, right? And the video revolved around this philosopher. However, the topic compression talked about how this philosopher terrified humankind, and the thumbnail shows you who the person is as well as his name, but does not give you any other context. So for you to understand the context, you have to just click the video. It's as simple as that, right? And remember when I said I'm going to come back to this particular one? And also, do you remember when I said the best videos always majorly have two, while some do have one? These two videos about how to make money on TikTok and how to never get tired also go with the knowledge gap curiosity, because the only way you'd click this is if you don't know how to make money on TikTok. Apart from wanting the results, you also want to know what it is, as well as apart from wanting to never get tired, you also want to know why or what would make you not get tired, as well as what already makes you tired, right? Now, let's move to the third one, which is the identity curiosity. And this is one of the most effective way. In fact, this is one thing that I use. If I did not change the thumbnail, if I haven't changed the thumbnail of this video at the time of watching this, then you probably clicked because of identity curiosity and knowledge gap curiosity, because the title is actually talking about you, the framework that makes YouTube easy for you, right? And you would want to know what exactly is that framework. That is why it is also a knowledge gap curiosity. Now let's take a look at a practical example here The title of this video says you could have made this, but here is why you can't sell it for millions. You know, without looking at the thumbnail, do you know what this video is talking about? You probably don't. And then looking at the thumbnail, it shows you a painting that sold for $21 million. And then this painting that this dude made, and it is only $0. And this title is literally talking about you, identity. You could have made this, but you would not be able to sell it for $21 million for some reason. And the reason is what would make you click. And that also satisfies the knowledge gap apart from the identity gap. And I also gave you an example from Mark Tilbury for the first one when I was talking about topic compression. This video is also framed as an identity. 8 crazy but true tips for teens to make their first $1 million. Only a teen would click this, right? So it is talking about you. If you are a teen, you would click it. Identity, your identity is what is making you click this particular video. And then the knowledge gap too, because you would want to know how to make the $1 million, right? Now, this is something that is one of the most effective way, if not the most effective way to make your audience click. And a lot of you are not asking yourself these questions. You just finish the video and then you look at the thumbnail like, okay, all right, what should I use for the thumbnail? I've seen this dude use this and let me just copy it, right? Copying YouTube thumbnails might work for you, but in most cases, it would not. And the only reason you think it works is because you are seeing the ones that work. And obviously, the only reason you are seeing this is because it worked. You would not see the amount of buried thumbnails that did not work on that particular topic, right? So, audience get fatigued once they see one thing. This dude posted this dude posted it, this dude posted it. They don't click the last guy who posted it anymore, simply because they have seen it again and again and again, and they probably think it's probably still the same video, right? So even if you want to steal a title, don't steal the thumbnail. If you want to steal the thumbnail, don't steal the title. I'm going to make a whole video on that. But for now, let's just move on to the next part of this framework. Now, what do I mean when I say the thumbnail visual decision? Well, I would need you to understand 2 major things. Thumbnails are not art. Yeah, some thumbnails look amazingly well and they always get clicks. It is for a reason. And not because they look beautiful, it's because they strike an emotion. And you can always strike that same emotion with a thumbnail that does not look beautiful. And when I say thumbnails are not art, I don't even mean beautiful or not beautiful. I mean they are not there for art purposes. They are there to force the audience to click, right? Now that that is established, now what are thumbnails? They are visual decisions. As I have mentioned earlier in the video that YouTube is a decision platform. A thumbnail is the visual decision. It is what makes the audience think, do I want to click this video? Do I want to skip this video? Should I click this video? Should I not click this video? Now that that is established, I am going to tell you the 3 major things that would make your audience want to decide to click your video, right? And every single thumbnail has to have this. For every single thumbnail that you design or your designer designs, they have to answer this question for the viewer to decide to click the video. Now, first one is, what is the single subject of attention? This subconsciously tells you that you should only have one subject of attention in your thumbnail, as do every single one of these particular videos do. Like this, the purest portrayal of locking in one particular subject. Do this every time you get paid. 1026 paycheck routine. This one major subject, which is the money divided into 3. Soldier ODs on meth has a crazy adventure. One major subject, this dude. This is exactly how it should be. Every single one of these thumbnails have one major subject, right? And then what emotion should fire first? When your audience look at your thumbnail, what should they think? What emotion should, not even what should they think, what emotion should spark in them? Because what makes people click is an emotion. Curiosity is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. Rage baiting strikes an emotion. Every single thing that makes anyone click your video is an emotion. So stop trying to give context. Stop trying to give information. Start trying to give emotion. Now, what do all of this thumbnail make the audience think? When you look at this, this strikes an emotion of, okay, I also want to lock in. what is a curious portrayal of locking in, a curiosity emotion, an enlightenment emotion, and entirely this video thumbnail looks. It just sparks a type of emotion that I can't even explain myself, but I know it sparks something other than curiosity, and that is what made them click. But I can't quite put it into words. But I can definitely put this into words. This emotion, the emotion that this thumbnail sparks, is extremely simple. What exactly should I do? And the thumbnail subconsciously tells you that it is 3 things that you should do. And that is exactly what made the audience keep. What the fuck should I do every time I get paid? And then this essentially is about a soldier that was on meth and the crazy adventures that he had. And I don't even need to tell you before you know that this particular face, this particular thumbnail strikes an emotion, even though it does not look beautiful. And you know what thumbnail doesn't also look beautiful and also performed? This one. How much I earned in 10 years of YouTube. This thumbnail does not look visually appealing in any way. In fact, the hierarchy is off and still it worked. It got clicks, 1 million clicks. It was a 21x outlier. And what is this emotion that you feel when you look at this? You would feel, whoa, this guy looks horrible compared to when he started. How much did he earn? Is this actually worth it? You start getting a flood of questions and emotions that the only way to satisfy them is to click on this particular video, right? And then the third one is, what is intentionally missing? The question, the big question. That is exactly what would finalize your click. What part of this thumbnail is intentionally missing? That's one thing that would make them want to click. That one question that would pop up at the back of their mind, and the only way to answer is to know what intentionally is missing. Now I'm going to use every single one of this thumbnail to answer that question. What is missing here? You don't know what the purest portrayal of locking in is, and that is essentially what would make you want to click this video. What exactly is that portrayal? And here you would want to click simply because you want to know the 3 things that you've already subconsciously think you should do, or what you subconsciously thought about that you should do every time you get paid. And that is the question that pop up at the back of your mind when you see this thumbnail as well as the packaging. And that is exactly what is intentionally missing. He did not tell you that. In the thumbnail, he did not show, do this, do this, do this. That is, you've already satisfied what the click is all about. If you tell him, and some of you in the thumbnails, I see this a lot in the business niche, you want to tell someone to do something and you already listed it. So if it's someone that is smart, they already know that, okay, this is what I should do. What reason anymore is there to make them click the video? Exactly. So your video always have to have something that is intentionally missing. And here, what is intentionally missing? Which soldier? What country is he from? What are the crazy adventures that he had? Why does he look like this? Is this real? These are the questions you start asking when you see this ridiculously amazing thumbnail. And I've already talked about the question that would spark here. Was it worth it? Why does this dude look this terrible? How much did he make? Did he actually spend 10 years on YouTube? These are the questions that you would start asking, right? And then for this one, the con man who outsmarted every president, you'll be like, okay, this dude has money. This dude is the president. And obviously, it is probably his money the way he's looking at it. Why does he have his money? Who is this guy? Who are the presidents he has scammed? How did he outsmart the president? And the only way to actually satisfy your curiosity for these thumbnails essentially is to click them. And that is what you can use to your advantage. The more questions in your thumbnail, the better your chances of getting clicks. However, you should just only be asking one core question, and other question would be supporting questions, or kind of like a bonus that the only way to know the answers is to click your video. And that is all about thumbnail visual decision. The actual part of your thumbnail that decides or that makes the audience decide if they want to click or skip your video. And this is also an essential thing that you must master to complete this framework. And now for the last thing, and this is probably the most important thing. Every other thing in this framework is useless if it is not optimized for this last thing. And what is this last thing? It is called title alignment check. So what is the title alignment check and why is it the most important part of this whole framework. You see, no matter how curiosity instilling your thumbnail is, if it does not relate to the title, if it does not align with the title, then it's no use. Because, as I have said in the past, for the airplane analogy thumbnail, if I actually use that thumbnail of an airplane almost disappearing, on the thumbnail, the text is 300 people vanished, and then the title is how to make money online. You see how ridiculous that is. You see how ridiculous that sounds. So, no matter how good your thumbnail is, no matter how good your thumbnail idea is, if it does not align with the title, it is obviously not going to work. Now, there are two things I want you to note about the title alignment check. The first one is the title should never repeat the thumbnail. And the second one is the title should stabilize curiosity, not kill it, right? And let me explain. Now, give me a second. Let me explain. When I say the title should not repeat the thumbnail, it is pretty obvious, and some of you still fail to do this, right? If your title is how to make money online, no text on your thumbnail should be how to make money online. The thumbnail is for adding a higher level of curiosity instilling elements or to widen the curiosity gap. Why should you waste it repeating what the title has already said? So if your title is giving context on something, then your thumbnail should be widening the mystery or making or framing or forming another question. Your title should never directly mirror the thumbnail, or nor should your thumbnail directly mirror your title. They would be saying something extremely related, as I have said, alignments, but they would be implying two different things or using two different types of curiosity gaps. I'm going to explain this with examples. But let's talk about the second one. The title should stabilize curiosity, not kill it. After your thumbnail is designed with the curiosity hooks that I have talked about in the beginning of the frameworks, your title should not kill that curiosity and answer the questions we have opened. Nor should your thumbnail answer the questions the title has opened. Your thumbnail and your title are supporting elements to widen the curiosity gaps. If a title asks a question, the thumbnail should never answer it, where it should only always widen it. Now, let me show you an example of that. As you can see here in this Mark Silvery one, it says, do this every time you get paid. A traditional YouTuber would probably put number one, do this, number two, do this, and then blow out the third one. Some don't even blow out the third one. You've already passed all of the information that you want the audience to know from your video in the thumbnail. So there is no reason anymore to click. And I'm going to give you even bigger examples in this study. Now, what should your thumbnail be doing? I've already told you what should it not do. It should not repeat the thumbnail, nor should the thumbnail repeat the title, and it should stabilize curiosity or widen the curiosity gap, not kill it, not answer the question. Now, what exactly should your thumbnail and the title be doing? What exactly should your thumbnail be doing to your title? What should your title be doing to your thumbnail? It's very easy. If the thumbnail creates chaos, the title should create direction. And if your thumbnail creates mystery, the title should widen it. Now, this seems a bit big. Let's dive into detailed examples. As you can see here, the human eye, I did not talk about this in the beginning. The human eye sees your thumbnail first, and then reads your title, and then look at your thumbnail again, and then connects the dots in their head in about 3 seconds or even less. Now, once the viewer sees Steve Jobs and try again, they think, what's this? And then they see the privilege of failure. As you can see, this title is so vague, so short, you have no idea what the video is about. The thumbnail gives you a little bit of context that, oh, this is probably like a motivational talk. This is a nostalgic editing type of thing, but it does not tell you exactly what it is about. The privilege of failure. What is the privilege of failure? Why is failure a privilege? Why is Steve Jobs here? Why does this thumbnail has the text try again? These are the questions in the viewer's mind that made this video get over 100k views, right? And as you can see here, the thumbnail never talked about anything or explained the privilege of failure or even imply anything about it that would make you have an idea, yet it got clicks because this thumbnail struck an emotion, it asks questions and also widened the curiosity gap. And this is why it got the clicks. It aligns with the title while not mirroring it directly. there are numerous examples, like the one I said there. Once the viewer sees the genius and the president, first thing is, why is a genius and a president in an airplane? And why does the genius have money? And why is the president looking at it? And then title says the con man who outsmarted every president. You will be like, your brain immediately connects the dots. Oh, this dude is the con man. So why is he a genius? Oh, because he outsmarted every president. But who are these presidents? How did he outsmart them? How did he outsmart them? These are questions that will be asked in as long as your title is aligned with your thumbnail. So these are what widens the curiosity gap. This widens the curiosity gap immensely because the title standing alone, the con man who outsmarted every president, is curiosity instilling. But what widens that gap so much that over 45K people had to click this in 20 hours to satisfy their curiosity? Well, it's the thumbnail and it's widening the question. And then there is this one in the business niche where once you see the thumbnail, you are overwhelmed with a lot of information, a lot of information. I'll be like, oh, what's this about? And then you see this master your mind to get stupid rich full guide. And then you look back and you see full course. Oh, this is a course on how to get rich by mastering your mind. Am I mastering my mind right now? Wait, is this why I'm not rich? What are all these jargons on the screen and how does it relate to me? And this video obviously was an outlier, a 5x plus outlier, simply because of these questions that the viewers are asking. And the only way they had to like satisfy this is by clicking. And the only reason they clicked is because the thumbnail caught their attention. They are overwhelmed with a lot of questions. They look at the title for answers for the question. The title did even worse to them. The title widened the gap more. And then looking at the thumbnail back, the gap gets extremely big. And the only way they were able to satisfy it is by clicking. This is why I said, if your thumbnail creates chaos, the title creates direction where the chaos is going. And that way the question gets widening and widening and widening. And for the second part, I said if the thumbnail creates mystery, the title widens it. This is essentially what I'm talking about. And that is exactly what is in all of these examples. Like this one, so I locked myself in a room until I made 100K with clipping on wall. The thumbnail did not answer any question, any other thing. The only reason you click this is for the journey and to actually see how this dude made the money. So the game of YouTube is not that complicated if you are actually able to sit down, analyze, and realize that every single view is for a reason. People don't just click for no reason. And you have to give them that reason by your title. I've already explained how important thumbnails are in the beginning, so I don't need to talk about that anymore, right? So this is essentially the end of the framework, and let's go over it one by one in just a quick summary, an extremely quick summary. First things first, you compress the topic into one core tension that you will be selecting the curiosity angle from. The one thing the entire packaging is going to revolve around, as I have said, you do not overwhelm with information. You choose one thing that strikes the highest amount of emotion and you use that as the core of your topic, right? And then from there, you select a curiosity angle. If the core of your topic is around YouTube packaging or is around how important YouTube thumbnails are, then you would then select a curiosity angle, which is, oh, maybe the packaging is what made this video get 10 billion views. The packaging is what made this video. You can even select a negative curiosity angle. The packaging is what wrecked this channel. So after you've chosen a topic, the packaging, you've chosen a major theme, a major core thing like the thumbnail, then you select the curiosity angle, which the thumbnail is framed, and then you choose a visual decision, and then you make a thumbnail visual decision. You start adding elements in the thumbnail that sparks curiosity or that makes the viewer ask a question, and that question decides the click. Every single element in your thumbnail should be extremely intentional and made to widen curiosity gaps and make the viewer decide to click. When you select your curiosity angle, you then use that curiosity angle to brainstorm and select elements for your thumbnails that makes the viewer decide to click. That is what the thumbnail visual decision will, and then you align it with your title and make sure they support each other while still widening the gap, as I've explained. And that is essentially what the framework is about. And this can be done in under 1 hour when you are experienced. And this can be done essentially under 1 hour, just answering your questions. It seems tedious, but like honestly, when you start doing it, you would understand how not so tedious it is. Now, before you go, I want to show you something as important as the framework itself. And this is essentially why I said this makes YouTube easy again. So first things first, there is no more random posting. And the reason I said so is because you stop asking, what should I post? And you start asking what would make people click. So you can't just randomly get an idea and think, let me start working on it. You start thinking, okay, is this video actually click worthy? Before you even get into the title and the thumbnail breakdown and whatever, you start thinking and asking what would people click. So you don't post randomly anymore, you don't guess topics anymore, and you don't panic design thumbnails at the end because you've already designed it and it is leading your creative direction, right? So this is why I said it makes YouTube extremely easy again, because a lot of us, or a lot of you, are going through YouTube the wrong way. And now let's talk about who this framework is for and who this framework would work for. Firstly, let's talk about who this framework are not for. Firstly, they are not for hobbyists. They are not for people who do it for the love of the game. This is for people who treat YouTube as a business, who treat YouTube as a way of life, right? People who breathe YouTube essentially, not just for people doing it with vibes and like, okay, whenever they feel like releasing a video or whatnot. This is not for you if you are one of these people. And this is not for people chasing trends. This is not for people that once they see something is going viral on YouTube, they hop on the trend way, because this is not a trend like or trend type of framework. I try not to chase trends, but I do use frameworks that have worked on previous channels, but not trends, right? And then who is this for? It is just for one person. Creators who want a system that is repeatable, repeatability, the ability to use a framework differently, extremely differently, and still get a result from it, right? This is what this is for, essentially. And this exact framework is how I have been able to take a channel from 62 subscribers and 1.4K total views to one video getting over 9,000 views, which is times 10 their entire channel views, with a whooping 19% CTR. This might be small to you. 9K view video might be small to you, but this is a 9,000% growth compared to the channel's average of 17 views, right? And this is the same framework that I've been using to work with creators with 100K plus subs and even 500K plus subs and still be able to bring results. So this works for creators in every tier, in every range, in every niche, anywhere you are. You could be an extremely niche and this will still work for you, because trust me, I've worked with channels with extremely niches like skincare and stuff like that, which is like extremely niche channel. Now, if you watch the entire breakdown, you will understand that the YouTube game is decided long before filming or editing. And this exact framework is how I work with channels privately. If you want this system applied directly to your channel, instead of you trying to figure it out alone, there is a link below to apply for a strategy audit. I work with a small number of channels, so not every application will be a fit. Either ways, you now have the full roadmap. So this is essentially what I've also used in doubling and in tripling CTRs on redesigns. And honestly, once you understand this framework, thumbnails stop becoming stressful and they just become part of you. You'll be able to see things on YouTube that you've not been noticing before once you open the homepage. Honestly, you start seeing YouTube differently. And most importantly, you start bringing results to your channel. Essentially, this is the end of the video. So yeah, peace.